Bite of truth. The $100 billion AI bet. Bezos, battlefields, and bots riding the web.
Jeff Bezos is raising $100 billion to buy manufacturing companies and fill them with robots. The Pentagon is suing Anthropic because the company wants to keep a kill switch on military AI. WordPress is letting machines write the internet. And somewhere in San Jose, Jensen Huang just declared AI is essential infrastructure and projected $1 trillion in chip sales. Welcome to Bite of Truth. I'm Sebastian. This week, AI stopped being just a technology and started becoming everything else. We've got a $100 billion bet on physical AI. We've got a constitutional showdown between a safety-focused AI lab and the US military. We've got a federal power grab over AI regulation. And we've got machines that are starting to write the web itself. I'll explain why all of this matters and what it means for the future we're building.
The $100 billion gamble.
Let's start with the big one. The really big one. Jeff Bezos is raising $100 billion. That's not a typo. $100 billion. Through sovereign wealth funds and asset managers, he's assembling what could become the largest single AI investment fund ever created. It's called Project Prometheus, and here's what makes it different from every other AI investment you've heard about. This isn't about software. This isn't about chatbots or image generators. This is about physical AI, buying actual manufacturing companies and transforming them with automation. Think about that for a second. Bezos isn't trying to build the next ChatGPT. He's trying to buy factories, aerospace companies, defense contractors, and then inject them with AI that simulates the physical world. Airflow around airplane wings, stress points in metal, fluid dynamics in manufacturing processes. Project Prometheus is tied to an AI startup that builds models for exactly this purpose. Models that understand physics. Models that can predict how materials behave. So the question becomes, is this the dawn of AI-driven industrial transformation? Or are we watching history's largest automation experiment on workers? Here's some context. SoftBank's Vision Fund was $100 billion too. It transformed venture capital. It also funded a lot of companies that didn't make it. The difference here is that Bezos isn't funding startups. He's buying established manufacturing businesses and trying to reinvent them. Now, at the same time this news dropped, we learned that AI startups captured 41% of all venture capital last year. That's $128 billion, out of a total pool of $310 billion. That's a record high share. So, you've got Bezos going all in on physical AI. You've got venture capitalists pouring nearly half their money into AI startups. And you've got Blue Origin, Bezos' space company, reportedly working on something called Project Sunrise, orbital data centers. The scale is staggering. But here's what I keep thinking about. If AI startups are getting 41% of venture capital, and Bezos is raising another $100 billion for manufacturing transformation, and Nvidia is projecting $1 trillion in chip sales, and we'll get to that in a moment, where does this all end? Is this an industrial revolution, or is it a bubble? I don't have a clean answer for you, but I think the physical AI angle is the key. Software bubbles pop. Infrastructure bubbles take longer. When you're buying factories and building orbital data centers, you're making bets on decades, not quarters.
Policy shock.
Let's shift from money to power, and I mean governmental power. The Trump administration unveiled a national AI framework this week, and it's a complete reset of how the United States approaches AI regulation. The headline, Federal Preemption. Under this framework, no state could enforce AI regulations stricter than federal standards. California's landmark AI bills? Gone. Colorado's consumer protections? Preempted. The entire patchwork of state-level AI laws that companies have been complaining about swept away. Now I know what you're thinking. For tech companies, this sounds like a dream. One set of rules, one regulatory environment, no more navigating 50 different state approaches to AI liability, safety, and transparency. But here's the trade. The framework also shifts responsibility for child safety to parents. It emphasizes innovation over regulation. It takes a lighter touch approach compared to the EU AI Act, which has much stricter requirements for high-risk AI systems. So the question becomes, is this regulatory sanity, or is it corporate capture? Let me give you both sides. On the sanity argument, having 50 different state AI laws is genuinely difficult for everyone. Startups don't have the legal resources to navigate conflicting requirements. Even large tech companies struggle with compliance across jurisdictions. A unified federal standard makes practical sense. On the capture argument, this framework was shaped by tech industry input. It eliminates hard-fought state protections that consumer advocates spent years developing, and it shifts the burden of safety from companies to individuals, particularly parents. Here's what I think is interesting. The EU AI Act went into force recently with a much stricter risk-based approach. It categorizes AI systems by risk level and imposes requirements accordingly. This new US framework takes almost the opposite approach: innovation first, regulation later. We're seeing a divergence, two different philosophies of AI governance. And if you're a global company, you're now navigating two very different regulatory worlds.
The Pentagon Showdown.
Now let me tell you about one of the most consequential AI policy fights that nobody is talking about enough. Anthropic versus the Pentagon. The Pentagon designated Anthropic as an unacceptable risk to national security. Why? Because Anthropic has ethical red lines in their AI models. They've said they won't allow their AI to be used for mass surveillance, for autonomous weapons, for certain military operations. And crucially, Anthropic wants to retain the ability to disable their models if they're used in ways that violate these principles. The Pentagon calls that a kill switch, and they don't want a private company to have a kill switch on military AI. So Anthropic sued. They're claiming First Amendment violations, and there's a $200 million classified contract hanging in the balance. Let me explain why this matters more than it sounds. Anthropic was founded by former OpenAI researchers with an explicit mission: constitutional AI. The idea that AI systems should have baked in constraints, principles they can't violate. It's not just safety washing. They've built technical architectures to enforce these constraints. But now we're seeing what happens when those principles meet military operations. The Pentagon's argument is straightforward. In a military context, you can't have a private company able to turn off critical AI systems. That's operational vulnerability. That's national security risk. Anthropic's argument is also straightforward. If we're going to build powerful AI systems, someone has to be able to say no. Otherwise, we're building tools that can be used for anything, including things that harm civilians, violate human rights, or escalate conflicts. Here's what makes this complicated. Palantir, another AI company with defense contracts, has taken the opposite position. They're pro-military AI. They want more integration with defense operations, not less. So the industry is splitting. Some AI companies are drawing lines. Others are erasing them. And there's a $200 million classified contract that will either go to Anthropic if they back down, or to someone else if they don't. I don't know how this resolves, but I think it's going to set precedent. Who controls AI in wartime? The military? The companies that built it? The governments that paid for it? The researchers who designed it? These questions don't have clean answers yet, but we're going to need them.
Nvidia's trillion-dollar bet.
Let's talk about the company sitting at the center of all of this. Nvidia, and specifically, what Jensen Huang announced at GTC this week. He declared AI is essential infrastructure, not a technology. Infrastructure, like electricity, like water, like roads. And then he backed it up with numbers. $1 trillion in AI chip sales projected through 2027. Now you might be thinking, we've heard big numbers from Nvidia before. What's actually new? Here's what caught my attention. OpenClaw. They're calling it NemoClaw. It's an open source platform for building enterprise AI agents. The name comes from the claw in Nvidia's logo, but the strategy comes from CUDA, the programming platform that made Nvidia dominant in AI compute. NemoClaw is designed to be the CUDA of agentic AI. Every enterprise agent running on Nvidia infrastructure. Let me explain why this matters. If you're a company building AI agents, autonomous systems that can take actions, not just generate text, you need infrastructure, you need compute, you need orchestration. Nvidia is positioning itself as the full-stack provider for all of it. They also announced the Vera Rubin architecture, 10 times inference cost reduction. That's not a small efficiency gain. That's an order of magnitude. And it matters, because inference, actually running AI models, is where most of the costs pile up. But here's the constraint: energy. Jensen Huang himself said energy is becoming the AI bottleneck. Not chips, not algorithms, power. AI now consumes energy equivalent to Iceland's entire national usage. That's not a metaphor. That's the actual number. And the real challenge isn't global climate impact, which researchers found is relatively minimal compared to overall emissions. The challenge is localized. Data centers need massive power, and the grid in many places can't handle it. So energy tech might be the best AI investment right now, not AI companies. The companies building the infrastructure that AI companies need to survive.
AI agents, riding the web.
Now let me tell you about something that snuck up on me. WordPress.com, not the open source software, but the hosting platform that powers a huge chunk of the web. WordPress.com now allows AI agents to draft, edit, and publish content, manage comments, optimize SEO, all through natural language commands. WordPress powers 43% of the web. That's not a small number. That's almost half of all websites. And now, AI agents can write for those websites, autonomously. The technical standard enabling this is called MCP, Model Context Protocol. It's an open standard for AI agents to interact with applications, read, write, modify, through natural language. So, here's the question I keep asking myself. If 43% of the web could be machine-written within a year, what happens to truth? What happens to authenticity? What happens to search? Because here's the thing, AI-generated content is already flooding the internet, but this makes it systematic, structured, programmable. You could have thousands of AI agents running thousands of WordPress sites, publishing millions of articles, without a human ever touching the process. Some of you might be thinking, isn't this just automation? Haven't we had content farms for years? Yes, but scale matters, and quality varies. The Swansea University study this week showed AI can actually make humans more creative. 800 participants. Virtual car design. The AI-generated galleries sparked deeper engagement, and better creative results. So AI can enhance creativity, but ChatGPT also gets science wrong frequently. A new study showed its scientific reasoning is only modestly above random guessing, and it contradicts itself constantly. We're living in a paradox. AI can make us more creative. AI can also make us confidently wrong. AI agents can publish content at scale. AI agents can also flood the internet with low-quality information. The technology isn't the problem. The problem is what happens when you combine scale with inconsistency, when millions of AI-generated articles are published without human oversight.
Creativity and accuracy.
Let me dig into that paradox a bit more. The Swansea study is genuinely interesting. They had over 800 people design virtual cars. Some worked alone. Some worked with AI-generated design galleries. The AI-assisted group showed deeper engagement, longer exploration, and better final results. AI sparked creativity. It didn't replace it. It enhanced it. But there's a counterpoint. ChatGPT's scientific reasoning, when tested rigorously, is only slightly better than random guessing, and the model frequently contradicts itself. So, here's the pattern I'm seeing. AI is very good at sparking ideas, at generating options, at creating starting points. AI is not very good at consistent reasoning, at factual accuracy, at knowing when it doesn't know something. This matters because the same week we learned AI can enhance creativity, we also learned OpenAI is planning an adult mode for ChatGPT. Privacy experts are warning about intimate surveillance. The idea that AI systems might collect and process our most personal conversations. Microsoft, meanwhile, is rolling back Copilot integration in Windows apps. Users complained about bloat, about AI showing up everywhere whether they wanted it or not. The signal I'm getting is humans want AI that helps. They don't want AI that intrudes. The Swansea study worked because the AI was a collaborator, a source of inspiration, not an autonomous agent running wild.
Infrastructure and energy.
Let me close the loop on energy, because this is where everything connects. AI consumes energy equivalent to Iceland's entire national usage. Researchers found the global climate impact is relatively minimal. But, and this is important, the local impact is significant. Data centers need massive amounts of power. They need it in specific geographic locations. This is why energy tech might be the best AI investment right now. Not the models, not the chips, the power infrastructure. We're seeing companies build on-site power generation for data centers. We're seeing renewed interest in nuclear, in geothermal, in anything that can provide consistent, clean energy at scale. And here's the thing about infrastructure bets. They're long-term. You don't build a data center for this quarter's AI workload. You build it for the next decade of compute demand. If Bezos is betting $100 billion on physical AI, and Nvidia is projecting $1 trillion in chip sales, the energy bottleneck is real. Whoever solves power infrastructure for AI might matter as much as whoever builds the best model.
Quick hits.
Before I wrap up, a few quick hits. Signal creator Moxie Marlinspike is bringing encryption technology to Meta AI conversations. That's interesting. The same person who built the gold standard for encrypted messaging, now working on AI privacy. Amazon is reportedly exploring Alexa smartphones. The rumor mill is spinning, but it would be a pivot for a company that struggled to make Alexa profitable as a standalone platform. And Amazon acquired Riv, a delivery robot company. Physical AI, again, infrastructure for the real world. So here's where we are. Jeff Bezos is betting $100 billion that AI can transform manufacturing. The Pentagon is fighting AI companies over who controls the kill switch. The federal government is trying to sweep away state AI regulations. Nvidia is projecting $1 trillion in sales while calling AI essential infrastructure. And WordPress is letting machines write 43% of the web. These stories aren't separate. They're connected. The money flows to AI. The policy shapes who controls it. The infrastructure determines how far it can scale. And the agents, the autonomous systems, are starting to operate without us. I don't know where this ends, but I think the next year is going to determine whether AI becomes a tool that amplifies human capability or a system that operates beyond it. That's Bite of Truth for this week. I'm Sebastian. Stay curious. The future isn't just being written by humans anymore, and that's exactly what we need to understand.